You're not sure what to do with your Ford Bronco order now that you've got that email, that deadly email from Ford. You want to know tips and tricks on how to get your Bronco built sooner than later. You want to hear my recommendations if I was your salesperson as to what to do. This is Bronco Talk so that we can find a way to not get you pushed to 2024. Stay tuned. What is going on, social media family? My name is Jorge Lopez and I am your sales consultant. Yes, I sell cars. We are located in Tomball, Texas, and yes, Tomball Ford is your dealership of choice. Welcome to yet another informative video regarding the 2023 Ford Bronco, helping you avoid getting pushed to 2024. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you share this video with other people, especially forums or other internet websites that might need to know this kind of information. So help us out and share the word and let everybody know that there's a solution to this Bronco problem. So I'm going to go down a few things that I feel are very supplemental information to the previous video. If you have not checked that video out, I'll link it up in the cards so that you can check it out. So without further ado, house cleaning items. First of all, the day that you have to mark your calendars is March 7. March 7 is the day that we have to turn in the final modifications, amend your final order so that Ford will consider your Bronco to be built for 2023. Now, there are 4 deadly sins, I'm calling them deadly sins, that are basically impeding Ford to move forward on your order. Number 1 is a hardtop. Well, there's still part shortages for this. I thought Ford had resolved this, but apparently Ford is still having issues with their supplier to get hardtops. Now, the Heritage Edition, the Heritage Limited, is not affected. The Lux package, well, the Lux package has issues with the microchips. The Lux package has more techie things, excuse me. So because of that, there's constraints on the Lux. The Sasquatch package, the constraint on that is the tire. Yeah, Goodyear cannot make enough tires put on the Sasquatch trim levels. So that is also a constraint. And the last part is the towing package, which is a late availability. So we need to make sure that you understand that if you've got any of these 4 deadly sins, you do run the risk of not getting your Bronco built sooner than later. I know sometimes people cannot live without these things, so that is why I want to bring this up and talk to you about these deadly sins, because sometimes you might not have gotten the correct information and maybe you don't need these packages. So let's talk about the descriptions of these sins and what they are, and do you really need them? Okay, let's talk about deadly sin number 1, which is the towing package. And do you really need this on your Bronco build? So first of all, the towing package from the factory comes with a 7-pin connector and a 4-pin connector. So these are basically connections from your trailer to the receiver hitch so that your brakes and your lights on the trailer work properly. So if you do require a 7-pin connector, then you do not have a choice. You have to stay with the factory tow package. But if you are okay to go with a 4-pin connector, heck, your aftermarket department, accessory shops can install the receiver hitch and wire it for a 4-pin connector trailer light. But hey, you have to ask yourself, do you really even need connections for lights? Like if you've got use for a bike rack, or you just want a little trailer where you can add an ice chest to when you go to the beach, you don't need connections for your trailer. So guess what? You can just install this little receiver hitch. Kurt makes a really good one. Rough Country makes a really good one as well. They're really inexpensive and they're very easy for you to install, and you can do it yourself. So it's super simple. So ask yourself, can you remove this deadly sin, the towing package, from your build? Because I'm telling you, it is a late availability. Ford is actually building other Broncos ahead of you if you have your trailer tow package. So if you can, take it out. Okay, let's talk about deadly sin number 2, the Lux package, and let's compare it to the high package. Okay, so the Lux package gives you, the biggest one is adaptive cruise control. You've got your Bang & Olufsen sound system. You've got a heated steering wheel. You've got evasive steering. You've got the connective 3-year navigational software, and then you've got a wireless charging pad. The high package, however, which is a step down, you can still get your 12-inch display, front sensors, you got your 360-degree view camera system, lane keeping system, blind spot monitoring system. So you still have all of these safety features. So you have to ask yourself, do you really need the Lux package? It requires a lot of microchips. And again, that's something that Ford doesn't have. You still have regular cruise control. Yes, you're gonna get a better audio system when you go with the Lux, but really the B&O sound system is really not that much desirable, to be honest with you. And the wireless charging really just does not work properly. The heated steering wheel, you have to ask yourself, is this something that you can live without? Because if you can live without the Lux, get the high package and you get the most important thing, which is the biggest display, and I think you're golden. So consider removing the Lux and going to the high. Now let's talk about the package that is the most desirable package, which is the Sasquatch package. And let's see if you need the Sasquatch package. This is what you get: front and rear lockers, okay? Now this is for heavy use. Front and rear lockers are really needed when you're going off-road, rock crawling, you're in a very mountainous terrain, and you just need traction in all wheels. So basically how it works, to try to make this explanation very basic, is you've got knobs that you can engage to lock both rear wheels to push together and work together, and lock both front wheels to push together and work together instead of individually. So that's what a rear locker does and a front locker does, which comes standard with the Sasquatch package. Also with the Sasquatch package, you've got a special wheel and you've got a 34.4-inch tire, almost a 35-inch tire, which is that Goodyear tire. You've got a 4.7 final ratio, and you've got bigger fender flares, and you also have a very tiny lift. So you have to ask yourself, do you really need the Sasquatch package? Because if you have the Wild Track, it comes standard with it, but consider moving to the Badlands because you already have the front and rear lockers standard on the Badlands, which can accommodate your need for the locking aspects of it on the front and the rear. So ask yourself, do you really 100% need the Sasquatch package, or are you after it because of its looks? Okay, let's talk about my recommendations. If I was your salesperson, what is it that I would recommend you do? Okay, well, first of all, let's talk about the people that have a Wild Track order, whether it be a two-door or a four-door, excuse me. To my knowledge, according to what Ford is telling us, that they're going to be building about 10 to 15%. Nationally, all of the remaining orders are going to be the Wild Track 10 to 15%, which is nothing, but more than likely closer to the 10%. So I would definitely have you to consider to drop it and move to the Badlands or the Outer Banks to make sure that you have a better shot, a better opportunity to get your Bronco built sooner than later. Now, if you do have to have your front lockers, your rear lockers, then I would consider you moving to the Badlands edition because it already comes standard with the front and the rear lockers. Now, you can get rear lockers on an Outer Banks, but not the front lockers because that doesn't come with it unless you go with a Sasquatch, which is what we're trying to avoid. And the Billy-Sting shocks, the Haas 2.0, I mean, that is a really good suspension. I have it on my current 2021 Bronco, and I've never had any issues with it. So I feel confident in the Billy-Sting shocks. For the ride quality is there. For the daily driver, this is a really good shock. Now, if you're going to be making these modifications, especially if you're dropping out to a Badlands, do not forget the free sound deadening headliner. Your dealership has to select that option. Now, if you say, I want a Wild Track, that's what I want, I'm not deviating from that, it's that or nothing, it's my way or the highway, well then hey, I respect your decision. At least consider trying to remove some of the dead sins so that you have a better shot. But again, they're only making about 10 to 15% of these Broncos with a Wild Track. So you're already in a really tough situation. Now, if you have a Badlands, then consider dropping some of the deadly sins. If you have a hardtop, consider the soft. Lux, go to high. Sasquatch, go to non. Remove the towing package. So better your chances of getting your Bronco sooner than later. But man, if you do have a towing package, you're letting others go ahead of you because you've got this late availability option. So Ford is not building towing packages right now. They're having so much issues with them. So please remove the towing package. Now, another thing that I would ask you to consider is to remove the factory navigational software. Yeah, you can get actually a $6.95 credit, and the only thing you lose is the maps that's on your big 12-inch display. But I don't know many people that actually use the map that's on the factory system, because most people use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Especially right now, Apple CarPlay is a full display. It just looks absolutely beautiful. Android Auto is a different way, but you still get your maps by going with the Apple CarPlay. So consider removing for a $695 the navigational credit, navigational software, and also try to limit what the accessories are on your build. So don't add covers, don't add door bags, don't add bodyguards, don't add wheel locks. Try to keep your build as thin as you can and with the least amount of equipment that you can definitely live with. Why? Because you can go through the parts department, to your accessory department, to the internet to buy all of these things. And guess what? You can also use your Ford Pass reward points in order for you to pay for these items. So consider doing those things to get a better shot to get your Bronco in 2023 and not get pushed over to 2024, because that's going to be an ugly sight. You lose your price protection, you lose the ability to get your $2,500 discount, and you're going to have to continue to wait. Okay, guys, we are towards the end of this video, and I wanted to bring somebody so that he can shed some light into the situation with the Bronco problems. But hey, Brian, what's going on, man?
Jorge Lopez, how are you, sir?
Good, brother. Hey, this is Brian with Tag Off Road. He is actually our accessory department director here at Tomball Ford. So Brian, I brought you in because we want to share some information with these people. How can these folks get that Sasquatch look without breaking the bank?
Oh man, there's so many options right now. I have tons of clients reaching out to me to get their Broncos that are coming in. You know, they just want to make it look better. That's really what most of these customers want. They just want it to look like a Sasquatch. We can do there's a 2-inch lift that we can do that still gives it the Sasquatch height.
There you go.
To keep it reasonable, we have a 2-inch lift available. We have some really nice 18-inch options that are black,
okay,
has
cool.
a beadlock style, just like the Sasquatch package wheel. So it gives it that beadlock look. 35-inch tires. You can even change it if you want to do a 33, a 34, if you don't want to do as big of a lift, or if you want to do even something crazy. You want to do like a coilover kit. If you're doing heavy off-road and do 37s and do, there's so many different options that we can do to make it look better than a Sasquatch. So that there is options, and I have them all in stock.
And also what I want to point out is a lot of people feel that they're losing out on warranty or they're compromising the warranty, and that is not the case, right?
That is not the case at all.
If you're watching us and you don't have access to Tag Off Road, I am pretty sure that your local Ford dealership can also accessorize their vehicles and do the warranty as well. But we're directing to our local customers. We're telling you that we can modify your Bronco. We can make it your own. We can make it look bad to the bone with his help and his expertise. We can find the perfect tire. We can find the perfect lift and get you going with full warranty.
Absolutely.
And make it their own. Listen, if you need some further information, I'm going to leave Brian's email and contact information on the screen. Make sure that you reach out to him if you have any questions about specific builds. Okay, guys, there you have it. This is a video of things that you can do to improve your chances of getting your Bronco sooner than later, things that you can eliminate, my recommendation as to what to do. As you heard from Brian as well, there is a solution, an aftermarket solution to make that Bronco just look absolutely phenomenal. Hey guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you share this video, because I bet you that there's a lot of people out there that need this kind of information. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you turn your bell notifications on so that you don't miss any upcoming video. And thank you so much for sticking through. I know this is a very difficult time for all of you Bronco customers. On to the next video. Have a blessed day.